In 3, 2, 1. Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mr. Low speaking. Welcome to today's Happy Hall. Today, you'll be learning this really big phrase that you see on the screen. It's called the Revised Bloom's Taxonomy. Now, this is actually a very special thing that we use every day. Although the name looks really big, but your teachers will be here to help you understand what it means. And today we're looking at part of the taxonomy called remembering. Today we're going to learn two things. One, you're going to learn to name the different thinking skills we use in the Revised Bloom's Taxonomy. Now, boys and girls, the phrase in blue is a very big phrase. It may look scary, but it isn't. The teachers here will help you to understand what it means and what you can do with it. And we're also going to learn different ways to help us remember better. But children, before we begin, I'd like you to think about this question. What is thinking? Teachers, please pause the video and get some responses from your students. There are no right and wrong answers. There is no need to correct them. Let the children speak. Actually, children, thank you for your responses. Thinking can be thought of as skills. In fact, there are many kinds of thinking skills. Let's use the example of a lemon to demonstrate what I mean.
Bloom's Taxonomy is a toolbox that teachers or students can use to classify and organize learning objectives. Its most popular version is based on the cognitive domain and assumes that learning should be structured from easy to difficult in the following 6 steps. 1. Remember. 2. Understand. 3. Apply. 4. Analyze. 5. Evaluate. 6. Create. On the first level, we learn to remember. There is just rote memorization and recollection of facts without much understanding. For example, if we learn about lemons, we want to remember the name, shape, color, size, and that they are sour. Once we memorize these essentially meaningless facts, we move to the second level of learning. On level 2, we learn to understand. We begin to decode information and learn that a lemon is yellow when it's ripe to eat, and if we take a bite, that it's really super sour. We also understand that lemons love sunshine and that they contain lots of vitamin C, which is a great natural antioxidant that keeps us healthy. Now, as we really understand a lemon, we can work with it. On the third level, we apply what we know. We've understood that while lemons are sour, they are also a great provider of vitamin C. To apply this knowledge in a meaningful way, we could boil a lemon into hot water and add some honey. Then serve this hot lemon to our sick sister who's in need of treatment. On the fourth level, we learn to analyze. This involves examining and breaking down information into components, determining how the parts relate to one another, and finding evidence to support generalizations. We study the lemon flesh, examine the skin, and look at levels of vitamins. We conclude that we can eat everything inside, while the skin tastes bitter and contains traces of toxic pesticides. It ought not to be consumed. Now we are ready to evaluate. We analyze, critique, and compare. To evaluate our lemon as a good source of vitamins, we compare it to other sources, such as oranges and supplements. We look at the following properties: vitamin levels, affordability, taste, and packaging waste. If we evaluate our thoughts critically and without bias, we learn where the lemons score high and where others score higher. Now, after we have learned, understood, applied, analyzed, and evaluated, we are ready to create. As we now really understand lemons, also in comparison to similar things, we can formulate a plan to create our own natural lemonade. It's now easy to come up with a cute shop design, a good name, and a good slogan: natural, healthy, yummy.
So children, what you have just watched is a demonstration of how we can think differently about something as simple as a lemon. The revised Bloom's taxonomy actually is a set of 6 thinking skills that you will need to use in your daily life. It starts with remembering, and it goes all the way up to creating. Let me spend a little bit more time here. Remembering is the first thinking skill that you need to use, followed by understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. All these levels work to help one another. And remembering is the first thinking skill you need, because you need to remember something before you can use it or to understand it. Today, we are going to focus on remembering. When you hear the word remembering, what are some of the things you can remember? Let me list some examples that you may remember right now. You remember your name, your birthday, your parents' mobile phone numbers, your address, your teacher's name, your classroom, your friend's name, and where you sit in the canteen. And there are many more things you remember. Now, boys and girls, remember means you're able to bring something out from your mind and you can use it in some way. If remembering is so important, how can we remember better? We must first focus. What is focus? The next video will demonstrate.
What is focus? Focus is the thinking skill that helps you to begin a task without putting it off, concentrate, not get distracted, and finish what you start. Focus can help you to start your homework without putting it off, stay on track at school, pay attention during tests and quizzes, and complete a school project. Here are some examples of times when you might use focus in your everyday life. When you're practicing a new trick on your skateboard. When your teacher is giving you instructions for a class project. When you're watching an educational video in class. Focus is also an important skill for playing video games. Take Mario Kart, for example. In this racing game, players have to keep their eyes on several different factors while they race, like upcoming turns, the locations of other players, and obstacles like banana peels. If they don't maintain their focus and stay alert, they could miss a turn, fail to grab a power boost, or crash into an enemy. It only takes one crash or bad turn to send a racer to the back of the line, easily costing them the race. Other games, like Bit, Trip, Beat, require players to exercise good focus skills due to the fast and hectic nature of the game. Controlling a pong-like paddle, players deflect patterns of blocks that whiz past the screen. If they become distracted by the confusing patterns, background visuals, or simply get mixed up, they may start to miss some of the blocks. If they miss too many blocks, the screen turns black and white, and if they miss a few more, it's game over. In Marble Sega Kororimpa, players guide a marble to a goal at the end of each level by tilting the controller, which in turn tilts the game world. Players have to focus their attention on the changing layout of the level, as it only takes one bad move to send the marble careening over the edge, forcing the player to start over. If players don't keep track of their speed and direction, they may find it difficult to navigate the perilous tilts and turns of the level. The next time you're playing a video game, pay attention to the times when you need your focus skills the most. Then, try to remember how you focus during the game when you're trying hard to pay attention and concentrate in school. You just may find that by practicing your focus skills in a game, you're getting better at focusing in real life too.
So children, here are some ways you can learn to remember things better. Now boys and girls, when you are learning, sometimes you read a lot of words and you may think that remembering with words is the only way you can do so. You can actually link your remembering to pictures and other methods. For example, if you are trying to remember the sense of taste, you may remember by the word, of course. However, you can also think of the picture of your lips. You can also remember it by remembering the taste of a donut. So children, when you link what you learn with pictures and other methods, you can remember better. Now boys and girls, you'll be learning something really special in your English classes. It's called annotate. Your teachers will teach you how to read with a pencil. Now boys and girls, as you're learning it, it is to help you to remember the story better, and it is to help you to understand what is happening in the story. When you annotate, you remember better. Of course, remembering requires practice. We have to practice. So even when you're finding it difficult, for example, your times table or your spelling, practice a few more times. It will become easier to remember. Finally, you see this funny word called overlearn. Now boys and girls, when you're learning your spelling, it is always a good idea to test yourself more than once. Why does Mr. Low say so? If you manage to spell the word correctly once, you may forget it the next time. However, if you test yourself 3 to 4 times, you are more likely to remember your spelling, and therefore practice makes permanent. The more you practice, the more likely you're able to remember. Boys and girls, we are coming to the end of the Happy Hall. Today, you've learned the 6 different thinking skills you use in the Revised Bloom's Taxonomy, and you learned different ways to help you remember better. Your teachers will be showing you even more methods and ways for you to remember things. You've learned that there are 6 thinking skills in the Revised Bloom's Taxonomy. Today, we focused on remembering. Boys and girls, remember this. When you remember, you can recall. With that, thank you boys and girls. To find out more about the other thinking skills, tune in next time to the next Happy Hall. Have a good day ahead.